For my virtual cover letter, I wanted to give a presentation on a fascinating reading technique designed by Piotr Wozniak called incremental reading. Incremental reading is a reading technique based on non-linearity and an all-around build-up of knowledge. In its most basic form, it involves interleaving reading articles, PDFs, textbooks, or watching educational videos in a prioritized queue, which helps you process the information all at once. The most rudimentary form of incremental reading will look something like this. Imagine you have a stack of textbooks where you start reading from the top and you have a paper out to take notes. So you begin by reading this Intro to Computer Science textbook, and then you read a couple pages and maybe you get bored. So you move that textbook to the bottom of the stack and continue on to the next one. You would repeat this cycle over and over until you had enough, and then you would grind down the notes you made into flashcards to help you remember them forever. This, however, is just the most basic form of incremental reading without any software enhancement. Now, what does the process look like in actuality? So I'll be showcasing incremental reading in a software called SuperMemo, and let's begin. The first step of incremental reading in SuperMemo is the importation of an article or video. I have this Wikipedia article on UNC right here, and I'll begin by extracting any paragraphs that I think are notable, like this first paragraph here. When I extract the paragraph, I break the article down into a smaller chunk, and this is the whole basis of incremental reading. You take a large article and you grind it down into smaller and smaller pieces. You have a nugget of information that you can make into a flashcard. For example, here I would keep extracting maybe this first sentence, and then I think this sentence is simple enough to make into a flashcard. So maybe I want to remember that UNC is a public university, so I would blank out this word, and then this would make this into a flashcard. And these flashcards will be spaced throughout time. And then lastly, I would repeat this cycle over and over, and then go to a new PDF article like this one here, where it's a HTML and CSS textbook. So why should you incremental read instead of reading linearly, like reading through a whole textbook page by page? There's less stress in needing to organize what to do. So you can just, if I come upon an article or textbook that I need to read, I can just import it into SuperMemo, and that completely negates the fear of missing out on information. Overall, it's much more convenient. Next is the spacing effect, and since extracts and flashcards are in SuperMemo are spaced throughout time, this leads to very high retention of the information. For example, I have over 21,000 flashcards at a 96% retention level, so I guarantee the spacing effect really works. Third is that incremental reading really leads to high coherence of information because you skip articles or extracts that you currently don't have the foundations to understand. And then these extracts and articles don't go away, they get sent to the future. So after time, you keep building up your pyramid of knowledge until you can actually understand them. Fourth is that incremental reading leads to interleaving of very different subjects. For example, like medieval history and programming, and this can lead to some crazy creative associations that you wouldn't get in traditional linear reading. And lastly, the most important thing is that incremental reading is really fun because you spend as much time as you want on the information, and your queue always has very surprising topics. I kind of see it as using the mechanisms behind scrolling on TikTok, but for educational purposes. Thank you.